What is up, guys? Welcome to the transparency. There's the link.
Listen, folks, I know there's a history here. I'd like to get this hearing in today. You know, everybody needs to just focus on the relevant facts, okay? I know there's a history here.
Are you talking up by Sunset Mart? Up the hill by the gas station?
Yeah.
Okay. Why did you? All right. Who's responsible here?
What's that?
Who's responsible here? Whose house is this? You haven't been drinking or anything, right?
No.
Okay. Drive careful, okay?
Thank you.
This is what the other group had that ran away.
Oh, really? You just ditched it? Awesome.
Yeah, those ones kept walking in the car and the other one.
It's truly to the win.
That I was given to. So there was 2 different discs. Okay? They all knew about it.
We're not here to talk about the alcohol stuff, okay?
Okay, yeah.
But this is the second noise complaint we've had here tonight within 2 hours.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. Is this your place?
Yeah.
Perfect. You know why we're here?
And I see noise.
Noise, yeah.
Yeah.
Big speaker right there.
Yeah.
Nothing against having a party. Once neighbors start calling in, then we have an issue.
What is up, guys? My hair is getting so long. Got to make a decision here to cut it, keep it, do what? Anyways, welcome. Hello to the members, subscribers, the lurkers, everybody. Friday, let's fuck around and find out. This is the link for all of you guys. If you want to come up for strictly timed, because I want to try to get through as many as we can for like a minute 30 seconds. Don't feel bad when I go, time's up. I got the phone out. Jack's got me this little stopper that he wants me to use. When I hold my phone now, it's really awkward. I don't like it. But I'm setting a clock here. Let's get the time stopwatch going. I want like an alarm though. Can I just do like every minute just goes off? Timer, there it goes. I'm gonna set it for 1 minute and 15 seconds. We'll do 1 minute and 19 seconds because my birthday is the 19th. Again, what is up, guys? Those of you guys that are at work and you're listening with your earbuds on, awesome. Those of you guys that are working around your house, cleaning, awesome. Those of you guys that are doing God knows what else, awesome. So, ponder, yes. Again, there's the link. I want to hear from you guys. I'm going to be starting to do the mock trial jury selection, okay? And I'm going to start throwing out some voir dire questions. And so if you want to be part of the mock trial, we need jury members. And so if you think that you got what it takes to be on the jury here, we're going to start this process. But there's the link. You're going to basically act like your life is your life, but it's happening in Moscow, okay? So when you get asked the questions, answer them like you would wherever you're living, as if, you know, that's where your jury duty would be. So But yes, today's topic is the defense going to go reasonable doubt? Reasonable doubt. Are they going to possibly throw a third-party culprit in there? Do they possibly know of anybody? Lana, can I please be the bailiff? Who we hauling off? The bailiff doesn't really have that strong of a job with what I'm doing. I mean, I probably need a judge. But plenty of doubt. Yes, plenty of doubt. Going through a case summary. No victims' rights. No notifications for Bethany. Anyone notice? Is that something that you just did recently there? Is that Jolene? Jolene? It's not a song. I agree with plenty of doubt, but is it reasonable? I'd love to be a juror. Wisconsinite. Is that right? I can play Emma. Again, we want this jury to be impartial. You got to sell it if you're not impartial. You got to sell it like you are impartial. So what do we think? Bumblebee. Oh my God, love you. You know you like that UK time. How about this? I don't know if he's back, but did AD get terminated? Is that true? Because I think that's crazy. I don't believe in cancel culture. If you don't like something, you don't watch it. If somebody's defaming you, sue them. Your hair is beautiful. Yep, and this hat it is. Thank you. Boston, would you like to be the judge? Actually, the judge is a very important job. We have a suppression hearing coming up. I can't stay on the way to job 2. I know someone has to pay our bills, baby. Yes, I'm going through things again, back in the beginning. There you go. Always start back in the beginning, like it. I would love to be a juror. Perfect. I can play Dylan. Everybody wants to play Dylan. Yeah, but I want to hear from all of you guys. What do you think? Where's your reasonable doubt? Or are you just like, hey, I'd have to see the evidence, but let's treat it as like the evidence is already presented on this channel and other channels. Where do you find yourself? Would it bother you to know that Brian Culver's DNA is just, miraculously on a sheath that has no body cam footage? It even was a sheath there. Things like that. I would love to be involved in the mock trial. Or are we calling it a trial of the mockery? Well, you can call it whatever you want. In law school, they call it a mock trial. So we're going to call it a mock trial. Does that whole 8 hours, 9 hours of not calling 911, Bethany, clearly I know, guys, she has some exculpatory evidence on her. Obviously it came in the form of a statement. So something that she saw, something that she said that she saw, could also be phone calls, could also be, so there's some things going on. For you only. Yes, and who was AD? Armchair detective. This entire case is bothersome. I think Bethany hears Dylan say, "It's okay, I'm here to help." Boom! Oh, wouldn't that just be something? Let's see. I was going to say spyglass in a sitting chair, but right. I want to know a complete minute-by-minute timeline from midnight to noon. Yes, right. I want to see these. I want to see these phone records. I want to see the phone data. I want to see some health data. I mean, well, how would you feel if Dylan or Bethany was texting at like 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning, I would, I know I sit in bed, lay in bed. I would have no idea what's going on downstairs here if I was doing those things. But laying in bed texting doesn't mean that I know anything. But I think for me, if I start to move with my phone and I'm taking significant steps, that I would have to believe that those significant steps aren't all being had in someone's tiny bedroom in that house. So I want to see some Snapchats, says Riviera. Snapchats. You mean of the case, right? Dinky, I'm good, thank you. Just busy working today. Hate missing lives, but gotta do what you gotta do. Yep, Dinky, Boston has to make our money somehow, some way. I want to see the profiles for the unknown male DNA found in the home. And I want to know why there would be no urgency to feel the need to get those DNAs accounted for, right? That's what I would think. I would love to cross-examine Dylan, says Julia J. Julia J just saying it. I just want to hear the damn 911 call, says Catherine. You guys, again, welcome to Fuck Around and Find Out Friday here. What do you guys think? This is all for you, for the people Fridays. For the people. Dylan is definitely hiding something, says Carrie Clark, all the way from Clarksville. Just kidding. I have no idea where you're from. I forget DoorDash. So many pieces of the puzzle. Yes, DoorDash. I mean, I want to hear the 911 calls. H-bag in the house. I'm just so excited, guys, to put my printer and my new mic that I was very specific about getting with the guard that I wanted up. Yes, 911, body cam. Yes, yes. I mean, I know for me, if I was a juror and you got guys on body cam and they're standing over the body, and especially if upstairs and we see no sheath, I struggle to think that pain, would see that. I do think that he's going to come back and say that, well, no, I didn't see it. I saw it after I was told about it. Well, what? He's going to have to explain that. Who knows? Maybe it is on the body cam. I just highly doubt it is. Otherwise, this would not be a point of contention. Also, I think that we all need to talk about this, that there's no other DNA on that motherfucker except for Brian Kohlberger's. So, and it's touch. So I want to know the amounts, how much DNA, where was it? I want to know where these other samples were. I want to know every DNA that was in that piece. Because for me, I would want to know the last time that person was in the house and that their DNA was there. Because come on, in college, guys, we're not cleaning like crazy people. We're just, having parties and no blood on the sheath. I don't believe so. They only said there was just the touch DNA that belonged to a male, unknown male, and that was IgG connected to Brian Kohlberger through then getting the trash, running that test. What was ordered from DoorDash? Says Deja Vu. What was in the bag? Where was it? Yeah, what was the DoorDash? Who ordered the DoorDash? What time was it at? What time did it say on DoorDash's end that it got dropped off? Because again, after reading all the stuff with Delphi, I'm sorry, but and all the stuff with Dr. Moore's case, I look at PCAs a lot differently. And of course, you're going to make it all fit to your narrative. But the moment that you put something in there that is not truthful, or the moment that you are just ridiculously leading down a path, knowing that something else that you have blows that up, that would be, in my opinion, exculpatory of that theory of whatever it is that the path that you're going down. No, not one scratch from a victim's hand. Yep, nobody. 12 cells. Can't recall where I heard that. Under a body that was murdered, not passing the smell test to bop bop. Was there even a DoorDash order? I've always been skeptical of law enforcement. They terrify me. I think it's sad because these are people that we're supposed to trust and believe in, and we want to take our problems to so that they can protect us and serve us. Speaking of which, I'm going on my first ride along and copter ride right here in Columbus. I'm going to be up in the choppa. Make sure you guys do some wellness checks. You guys can get me on body cam. I'd like to read full autopsy report. Yeah. Odd question again. Take the link if you didn't already see it. There it is. Click on. Fun. Been years since but being a choppa overlooking Columbus on the weekend should be fun. Get to the choppa, right? See, somebody got that. I want to hear the radio transmission on that type of stuff, like how quickly things get transmitted. And then you just like, we're going to go back over this way. Miss Kelly, FBI, and when and change in the years of cars. Yep. Yeah. I want some dates. So yeah, what do you guys think? Reasonable doubt is the defense, do they have somebody like, if Brian didn't do it, who did it? Can they bring in that third party culpability defense? Just making some lasagna here. Reasonable doubt. It presents. It seems. Yeah. Why did the prosecution care so much to get out the alibi out of Brian Kober? That's always that's always interested me. That immediately when they started talking about the whole IgG stuff and wanting all that information, that prosecutors were like, "We want your alibi." Has anyone checked into law enforcement officers' pasts that were involved in the chiropractor murder case? There you go, Jessica. Good job. Yes, that would be Gary Tolson. You're going to be looking at the Idaho State Police that were involved in that case, and then looking to see what, who crosses paths. And that's going to be Gary Tolson and Mike Van Leuven. Jessica Yesland is all over that. Come here. Here. Come on, let me take a look at it. See? The bigger ones. What's that? The bigger ones I got. Let's see, look at this. But you're not that on it, just plain. What? I got the big ones. Here, you want one of these? Go ahead, take those out.
No, give me cheese and crackers.
Cheese and crackers?
Huh?
You think you want me to get you like a wine board, John?
Cheese and crackers.
I don't know if that's gonna work out. There you go. Everyone identified Jessica in there soon. Doing a million things over here, guys. Don't mind me. We got cheese and crackers going on. We got wine coming on. Oh, we got cheese now coming on. We got more wine coming on. What do we got? I also want to see the law enforcement timesheet. Yeah. Definitely a connection. Great work, Leanna. Thank you so much for that. Isn't Payne's alibi the same as BK's? He was driving. Interesting. Thank you. Someone here said in the supposed bunk neighbor ring, you can hear them say Brian Kober. Yeah. You guys, there's nothing coming from those cameras. I don't think that Jay and the rest of the crew would be writing in their motions to say how are you even labeling this a white Hyundai Elantra to give law enforcement on 11/25 to be on a lookout? Like, how are you even making out that a white Hyundai Elantra was the car seen on any camera over there? That tells me everything I need to know. We're still unclear, as he says, like where you're getting this description to give to law enforcement to be on the lookout. Where are you getting this from? Why that car? And like I said, when you look at Linda Lane was a running clock. Okay. Running clock. The other stuff, shit, you could pass by your neighbor in your vehicle, then they have a Ring camera and it doesn't go off, and here they didn't, so they didn't get to see that pass. Welcome to Truth and Transparency.
Hi, Lana. Hello, everybody.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing good. It's been a while.
Good. Well, I'm happy that you're here.
I have a question for you.
Oh, God. Okay. Give it to me.
So, say if something terrible happened and you need to cover for the people who did it, and you're framing me, and you're indicting me, and you have no evidence on me except for some circumstantial evidence. It doesn't amount to much.
Okay.
And you know that if it goes to trial, that you're going to get destroyed and probably look really bad.
Yep.
Do you want this to go to trial, or do you want it to get dismissed?
Yeah, you definitely want it to get tossed, because if it goes to trial, in my opinion, then you're going to have to start asking people to cover for you and lie for you, commit perjury.
Yes. And also, you might be able to, by having this get dismissed, you might be able to avoid all the complications that come with, we're talking about a violation of the code of ethics.
100.
Also, it would probably upset me quite a bit, and I might come after you.
Oh, yeah.
there might be a case there, a civil case.
Oh, yeah.
And
sure.
Also, what about the taxpayers? Because, whose time is being wasted? Well, it's the court, but who is the court? That's the state, the taxpayer.
Yep. 100.
So that would be a criminal case. The state would now have a case against you, the prosecuting attorney.
Yeah, I think, it's kind of like, to me, with the Delphi case, is that once you get to that point, people are going to be protecting themselves and each other, because good people don't do this. Does that make sense? Like, you're doing this with other shitty people. I can't think that I'm going to go do this and I have somebody that's on the up and up as the prosecutor, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So, corruption doesn't start from the bottom, it starts from the top.
Yes. Now, I've been going back and watching some of your videos and trying to recall a lot of things. And I noticed, they went straight for the financials. And there were, besides the victims, there were 3 other financials that they went after. In March, you kind of theorized that they would be Bethany's, Dylan's, and the 6th roommate.
You're correct. Yep.
Do you still feel that way?
Based on how early those were done, they were done right away. Yes. Based on like how quickly they went for those search warrants, you mean, with like the financials?
Yes.
Yeah, yes. I think that it would be everybody that, especially if the girls said that someone said, like, was anybody else living here at any point in time, and then they gave that name, you know what I mean? That makes the most sense for as early as they went for that. Now, if they were doing stuff like, after they arrested Brian Koberger and things like that, then you'd be adding. But I think that if it's the stuff that happened right away, 100, I think that's going to be the.
I've been thinking a lot about this.
Maybe some parents. There could be some parents involved with that, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Because if parents were on like people's checking accounts and stuff. But I think that you'd have to work a little harder to get search warrants for the parents. Like I said, unless the kid's name is on that account, then that could be like something that you would be able to. I mean, after I saw what they did in the Brian Drake case, though, the Dr. Moore case, Brian Drake case, They didn't do any. Like, it just they were like bullshitting a lot. Like they were acting like they were going and getting stuff, and then they weren't. And that's a tactic to see like if people just like give up something so that they don't have to go and do that, you know. But yeah, I do. I stand by that. If it was early on like that.
I might be overthinking a little bit on the financials, but like if I was going after one specific, but I didn't want anyone to know, I would grab them all so that it confuses it and no one can guess which one.
Yeah. I think honestly they were looking to overload. They did, 65 search warrants of things that were intangible. Like it wasn't like these are the search warrants that we saw. It's nothing about searching people's homes. You know what I'm saying? So everything was all, was it done a way to load up a discovery?
Might have a lot to do with nothing.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, why all of a sudden were they going after the financials? What there at the crime scene, or what was said to them, either at the crime scene or when they saw the crime scene at that house? What did they find? Why were they obsessed, in my opinion, going for all the financials to do with college students?
Sometimes I wonder if it ties into why there would be 3 officers at the autopsy. And you know that they're not in plain clothes. They're on the clock.
I love that Tolson was there because he's a liar. Tolson being there was just money to my ears. I have him doing all kinds of crazy shit in Bonner.
He's ISP, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. And they're the ones that, think about it, you have all these inexperienced. I had a girl reach out to me, and it was great that she did. She reached out to me. She's studying, and she's in the criminal justice program, whatever school she goes to. And she's in one of a class that's talking about crime scenes right now. And it made me think, like, I was like, yeah, you know what? Maybe I should go and pull some stuff out from like the days of learning about all of that. And so people can really truly see what's supposed to transpire with the first officers on scene. Then when your senior investigators get there. But looking at Moscow, I mean, they don't know how to, this is foreign territory, right? So like these people are just like, oh my God, what the heck? Like the first responders. And immediately they went to veterans, and the only veterans like that you're going to truly call on, even if you have like someone like Blaker, he's been in the Moscow Police Department for how long? 20 some years. It's when you're not doing homicides and working homicides like every other day, like these other bigger cities are, they're going to rely on, like they're going to use those people. So that's why I think ISP was very, very heavily involved in obviously the forensics of it, doing all the pictures, taking all the samples, putting them, in their perspective, bins and, but all of that has like a procedure, to not contaminate anything. And I just don't see Moscow, like, I'm sorry, but Josh and Rosendahl, I mean, they're over there writing up tickets and driving around in hybrids and questioning people. Like, that's what they do. That's what they do every day. To go from like that to like, here, we want you to go ahead and, be involved in a quadruple homicide. That's one of the nation's biggest cases at the time and still is. So I would think that you would move away from your local people and immediately be asking for people to come in. But they did.
The attending of the autopsy by these 3 officers, I mean, it's really not to satisfy their curiosity. After all, they can learn that information afterwards. So the purpose of them being there, and I don't want to create a controversy, but is it to intimidate? Possibly.
Sorry, Eddie, I was on mute.
Oh, yes, you were.
Yeah. Sorry there. Yeah. No, I know. Yes. Why were they even there? Why are all those people there if they're not doing anything?
Yeah. So I know everyone wants to discuss a little bit about why
No, they don't.
the
No, they
hearing
don't.
has.
Wait, what did you say?
The hearing has been, pushed out a month, and I know everyone's kind of curious about that. My thoughts on that. So I don't think it's an illness. That's just a really good pretense to.
I mean,
now-
how would this get delayed by an illness? If you think about it, you have how many people? You have both sides that have a ton of people. Like, how is this being? Have that person has illness? I mean, unless it's the judge. How does illness prevent that from happening? Because I would just be like, can you do it from your? I mean, each side has a bunch of lawyers. I don't know.
So put on your, brace yourself, put on your tinfoil hat. Here it comes. So do you think it's possible that the judge and the prosecution and the defense are going to confer off the record and try to get this thing straightened out? Because after all, if us commoners if we know what we think we know, I mean, how much smarter is the judge, right? He knows something. This is complicated. They got to figure this thing out off the record before
Idaho
this
looks like
hearing.
straight trash.
Because even though the upcoming hearing will be a closed hearing, no doubt, but it's still
Why
going to
is
be
it
on the record.
closed? Why is it closed?
Well, because they're secrets, and those secrets can't see the light of day, but it'll still be on the record.
Yeah, sure.
And those will just be sealed. So they got to make sure that before it gets on the record that they kind of do this dry rehearsal, in my mind, to make sure that what they're doing and how it goes looks legitimate. They got complicated things to figure out.
I would just think that, okay, great, someone's sick. You're going to move something else off the docket and bump that to the day that they pushed and put this in that place. But then they have to ask everybody else, like, hey, does that day work for you? Oh no, I have this and I have that. That's just the way the courts work. I mean, unfortunately, like when you give up your date and something happens, that's so. As much as I want to think that was, I do believe that somebody could be sick. I do believe that, but the reason it's a month out is because, you have to work with everybody's schedule then. And all you have to do as a lawyer say is, oh, that day doesn't work with me.
That
I have
makes sense.
this. I have this.
And that's reasonable.
And I've seen this happen so many times that, I mean, okay, well, how does this date work? We saw it at the end of, I think the last time where they were talking, that's what they do at the end. Like they start talking about dates and stuff like that. So I know that Ann Taylor had strep throat. She wore a mask and she was there. So I don't think that it's from the defense that's saying that they're sick. I don't see that. I see the defense not ever putting something like that out there. So I think that leads me to guess on two sides here. And I believe that would probably be the judge, because within the prosecution, you'd have enough, lawyers to be able to handle whatever was scheduled that day. So I think that the only way that doesn't go forward is if the judge was sick. I mean, who knows? Maybe Brian caught some shit when he was in the jail.
He's looking healthy. He's doing push-ups.
So I don't know. But for me, with all of that, it's par for this course of this case. So I think there's, I think the defense is going to raise a ton of issues, and I think the issues are this hearsay that happened at with the grand jury. I think whatever the grand jury heard. I mean, from my sources, they said that the grand jury, talked about this stuff for 3 days. They were deliberating. So This wasn't like they deliberated for 15 minutes and came back with, yep, he's indicted. I was told it was 3 days. So they heard testimony for 3 days and they talked about it for 3 days. That's what I was told.
Well, lastly, I just want to share
And
with
it was from
everyone.
that guy with the flags that drives around.
Oh yeah, that's. Oh, thanks for bringing that up. Have you FOIA'd JLR's 911 call?
No, I have not actually.
I'm fascinated about that.
I mean, I could.
Is that, I mean, how did they know that he's in this rental
I
car?
think JLR needs to apologize to Richard Allen. I wrote him.
Yeah. Oh yeah. 100%.
And I told him, I was like, I think that you might be apologizing to Richard Allen.
100%. And Brian Kohlberger too.
You know, I mean, because he was screaming at him about, you know, why'd you do it, Richard? You killed that, your child killer.
Yeah.
But you know what's awesome about JLR? He'll own it, he'll say it, and he'll do something about it. That's the one thing I can say about JLR. Like, he's not, JLR's, I feel like he's reasonable. If I was to say something to him or he would say something to me, I would listen to what he had to say. Boom. So I think that he will. Yeah, I want him to talk about the Delphi. I want him to talk about those only because he was there and he was screaming that. I think it would be appropriate that he reads it and he's like, oh, holy crap. You know what I mean? Yeah,
JLR is okay. I have got nothing other than his opinion about Brian Kohlberger. I got, nothing against him. I emailed him and I asked him, I can't find that video of, the car impound lot in Moscow, Idaho.
I can't find the video of it either, except for, I have the video of them being there.
He responded. He emailed me back and he said he was told to take it down.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Well, I know that a couple people have asked him to take videos down, which honestly, he should be happy that they're asking versus trying to take down his channel.
Right.
Because that's normally not what happens. So I think you try to develop a pretty good rapport with, I think it's funny when people say like Lana has no rapport with Moscow, Idaho. Do you know how many times we've been on the phone with the girls that work there? You know how many times like things have been sent like anonymously from here to them saying thank you because like they're taking their time to get us, the information. I mean, but he should be happy if people are asking him to take stuff down versus just going after his channel and trying to get it taken down, because then he wouldn't have a channel. So I think that that's the right way to go about it. And it's unfortunately like people don't do that though, because they get it twisted in this world of YouTube. It's like, why do you think that you're competing with me versus just like run your channel? You have the same ability that I have to go get whatever it is that you think that you can go get. Like, I don't get more or less than you, you know what I mean? Run your channel however you want. But I think going and trying to take down other people's channels, like, you're pussy. Like, why would you ever do that? Especially if you're gonna try to lie about it. But that's why one of my videos isn't up right now about the Delphi case. People trying to claim privacy. How are you trying to claim privacy strikes on information that's in public documents? That's not privacy strike. That's not, and then I have to take the time, or anybody else that has a channel has to take the time to go and file, a counter and appeal to it. Because what I want to happen is that if it's a privacy claim, then it should be you. It's your name. And how are these identifying markers going out that there's a ton of people out there that have very similar names, but at the end of the day, if it's in a court document, it's public. So rather than trying to privacy strike me, which doesn't do anything to my channel, but it would make it so that the video can't be seen by all of you guys. And I think that the better way to go about that in YouTube should, and they're trying to pick up with the times so that you can't just go around doing that to people. So yeah.
Lastly, I would just share with everyone that when I see Bill Thompson, I don't think that he's acting of his own accord. I think he's been put up to this somehow. He looks very uncomfortable, and I don't think he's digging this at all.
Well, I think that Anne is trying to do a really good job of saying, like, I think that the prosecution is giving me everything that they have. So she's placing the blame elsewhere.
Yes.
And I agree with that. But at the end of the day, you're the prosecutor, Bill, and you have to believe that you have a strong case, right? In order for me to believe that I'm going to take on this case to prosecute it, you guys, they can say, like, oh, this isn't like the movies, this isn't like the TV shows. But I will tell you procedurally, it is a prosecutor, once they are brought a case and a complaint, that they are the ones that say, okay, yes, I'm going to prosecute this. So you have to see what you got to see stuff in order to want to say that you're going to do that. Like, hey, I need more. Like, I'm not going to prosecute this. So
Well,
at the end of the day, it's Bill's decision.
yes, ultimately he agreed to do it. You just don't arbitrarily, you got to make sure that your case is airtight. You don't.
And I think he
just
probably felt that. He's
arbitrarily-
like, oh my God, the FBI is involved. Idaho State Police is involved. Like, if you're telling me something, why would I think that you're not telling me the truth? But then I think it's on the prosecutor then too to do their job. And that's why I loved what that Baltimore prosecutor did with the Adnan Syed case. The reason that Adnan Syed is out right now is because she worked with his defense to make that happen. She wanted him to be out. So if Bill Thompson came across, okay, holy shit, you lied to me, make that known. Like, so that would earn me so many points with a prosecutor, like when they saw something. So when Bill Thompson would come across something, if he's saying, hey, I got the defense asking for this, this, and this, where is it? And then you're telling me, well, we don't have it. Well, what do you mean we don't have it? Because I know for a fact you'd have to email somebody in order to get a lab to start working on something. So where's that email? Why do they think that there's an email? But you just cannot claim, as far as Bill Thompson goes, you're the coach of the team. Okay. Your players are on the playing field and they're doing shit, right? So when something happens, you go to your player and you say, yo, what's up? This is what I need. And you don't have it. You don't do it. You don't just go, okay, I'm just going to go tell the defense it doesn't exist. If you know damn well it should exist. Because how did you talk to that lab? How did you go and hire a private lab or go and see a genealogist? There's a paper trail on the communication. And so Bill Thompson's job is to go and say, listen, you got 24 hours to get me what the fuck I need, or I'm turning you over. So either I turn you over and you can keep your fucking mouth shut, or you give me what the fuck I need to prove my case. And if I don't know, I don't have it. I'm not the one to talk to him. Well, get an affidavit written up. Let's go. Because Ann Taylor ain't playing. Like, Brian Culver ain't taking no deal here. This is he's either going to be found guilty or he's going to be acquitted, or there's not going to be a trial, because Brian Culver is not taking a deal. There's going to be no plea deal here. That's not on the table.
You're right.
I'm telling you that right now.
No deal.
There's no deals. Who would take a deal? Why would you take a deal? And then how do you even deal? You think that the Gonsalves are you're cutting a deal with the person that killed my kid and 3 other people in the way that they did it? You already said it's a death penalty case. Now you think that there's gonna be deals? There's gonna be no plea deals. So get your shit together and turn it over. And so that's where my blame kind of goes on Bill, is that but it's also political. But hey, guess what, Bill? You've run your course. Like, you've been doing what you've been doing for a long time. And I think that he's feeling pressure, like the FBI is involved. Like, you're gonna have to, hey, who do you call? Hey, I need to talk to one of you FBI agents. You think Bill Thompson just knows who to, hey, can you get the FBI down here to talk to y'all?
So because like I suspect, it won't go to trial. And, a not guilty is not associated with a dismissal. Bill Thompson would just feign surprise and just, continue to maintain that, no, that's the guy.
Exactly. He'll be the guy for the rest. If he's found not guilty, he's going to be looked at as the guy that got off, not the innocent guy that got off.
I'll leave everyone with that. Lana, you're the best. You're the lion.
Oh, and you know what though? Email me, because I'll put in that. We'll get that. I'll get that 911 call.
Oh, Yeah, just
Give me the date of the incident, and I'll make it happen.
I'll do that.
Okay, cool.
We'll talk.
All right, as always, love you there, Eddie. You're the best.
Love you, Lana.
Okay, baby. Again, great man there. Such a great head on his shoulders. So much respect for him. He always brings awesome questions, awesome thoughts, and he's just so respectful. And he's just so well. I just love his mannerisms. So nothing but love out there, Mr. Eddie. There, thank you for hitting the link. As they chant for you in the crowd. I think someone actually wrote up, where was it? I like the question. I saw it at the corner of my eye. Oh yeah, right here. Why do he waive his right to the speedy trial? They didn't have, it's almost like he didn't have a choice. And I don't think that he wanted to waive that. It's like, why don't we have the stuff that we need? I got a question for everybody. When do we think that Ann Taylor realized that holy shit, IgG was used? I think it was early on, by the way. My take is that early on. No. But if you're innocent, why stay in jail? Because if you didn't do it and that's not your sheath, they planted that. So how would you approach that? How would you think about that? If you didn't do it and you weren't there and yet there's a sheath that has your DNA on it, would you be like, what the fuck is going on? I know I would be. And so you think I want to roll the dice with people that have already done that? No, I need to prove how this all happened. I need to be able to prove, or at least I need to be able to do what Baldwin and Rossi did for Richard Allen. Okay. And the only way you can do that is with discovery. So if you're BK and everybody can say like, why isn't he? Well, because if he didn't do this, he was framed. And so you don't think that they are there's not some depth there with the frame job? Come on. I would want to see all the DNA workup. Yeah. I'm telling you, this case is going to put this all on the map of what you can do, what you can't do. I don't know where it slipped up somewhere along the line with all the DNA stuff, but somebody said something they were not supposed to say, because I don't even think it was going to be mentioned that genealogy was used. Because for the life of me, I cannot imagine me working for like a couple weeks straight, coming up with this tree, narrowing it down to, maybe Colbert and a couple people, and me taking this to the detective that I was working with. And then when they actually get the DNA to like run the test to see if my lead was, boom, money, me then saying, oh my God, leave me out of this. Don't use my lab. Don't use me. And tell Dawn Daniels that she needs to tell the judge not to consider the DNA when giving a search warrant. That just doesn't make any sense. Like, that's just, you got the proof that you needed to show that you just nailed it. And then all the hard work that you just did for hours a day, like 15 hours a day for like multiple weeks, boom, here you go. And then you just got the confirmation that, holy shit, yep, there it is. We got the dad's, sample, and, That's the son, which matches your lead. And all of a sudden, you're going to hear somebody say, "Oh my God, leave me out of it. Protect me. Protect this." You don't do it. What would you be protected from? Protected from what? Oh, the fact that either you never did it in the first place, or that you totally violated everyone's, privacy and the terms of service. You don't want to talk about it because it's going to lose people a lot of fucking money. So probably choose BK long before the attack. If the unknown DNA belonged to law enforcement, would that be the reason they didn't qualify for trees and everything to be done on them? Yeah, law enforcement doesn't have their DNA in the system as far as CODIS goes. I don't know if any of these officers have ever done like a DNA test kit to check on their heritage, though. I mean, so they could technically be maybe in a database like that. You know what's funny? I love these people that say Lana rambles, it makes no sense, but yet they're always here taking their time out of their day to comment. I don't know what's worse, having no life or showing me that you have no life. I'm not sure. Either way, I'm not there for it. Lana, serious question. Why would BK not come out and say he didn't do this? I think that he has said he hasn't done this. How is he so calm to sit there and stay in jail? I think that's for a psychologist to talk about. Everybody's different. I mean, I don't think that Brian Kober and what's her name, Karen Reed, have the same personality. Okay. So I think that's a personality thing. You could still be innocent and be scared. Dinky says, "Oh, dumb comments, Rock." There's a difference between exonerated and not guilty. And those aren't Brian Kober's words, if you think about it. He didn't say that to the media. That's what that lawyer said. So you'd have to ask him to be, to clarify that. I'd be writing a book if I was him. Yeah. Leaving the door open also makes time of death very hard to determine. It depends. Depends on if your heat's on auto, and if it automatically casts the kick up higher to keep your heat at a certain level. So like my door could be open right now, but my stuff's all on this like ridiculous like room temp stuff. So as soon as my room temp goes to higher or lower than what it's supposed to be, it kicks in. So it has to work on overdrive. If my door was open, and it would just kick and do overdrive. You know how I know this? Because when I went on vacation to Florida, I get a phone call saying that my back door was open. Then I get my bill and saw that my heat and my electric was off this fucking charts. And I was like, holy shit, it's because it was heating my house with that door that flew open from the wind. So, I mean, it just depends. When you want to talk about how cold or hot it could have been in that house, it depends on what kind of system they have. What, Lana? That's scary. We had a bad storm. It's not that scary. But I appreciate your concern. Exonerated is already when somebody's, you don't think he's already been found guilty in the media? I know that, honey. I know that. Exonerated is used when someone is already convicted. That is what, 100%. 100%. But guess what? We don't know if BK used that. We don't know if BK used that language. BK didn't say that, is my point. That lawyer said it. Okay? So that's my point. Is that technically that's hearsay? Hi there, Richard. How are you? you know, if he wants, you guys can call down to that lawyer and you guys can ask him if he wants to retract his exoneration word or if he wants to go with not guilty or whatever. But I think that could be a possible easy thing to like slip into say when you're like, dude, everybody thinks that I killed everybody. I mean, yeah, I can't. I'm looking forward to being exonerated of this, you know. Lana, did Ned call you? I don't believe Ned called me, but I've been busy. Ned. Did I put the little thing in for you guys? Okay, who's going to be next? Come on, tell me what you want. Reasonable doubt, or you think they're going with a third-party culpability? Do you think that they know, because if Brian Colbert didn't do it, you know who did. Do you think that there's any evidence, such as in the discovery, that would lead them to really hard, you know, point to a third-party culpability and that this person, you know, did it? What do we think? BK is not freaking out because it doesn't do any good. He's not getting out until trial and the truth comes to light. Keep on keeping on, Lana. I love your podcast. Oh, thank you. Nice words. Nice words. How did the killers get into Kaylee and Maddie's third floor room since it was locked? I don't know where you're getting that it was locked. I don't know where, you know. I don't know where that's been said that that's been locked. That's in no documents that I've seen. Both reasonable doubt due to third party capability. Yeah. You would say not guilty because you would be hoping not to even go to trial, therefore exonerated. It was locked after the killing. Again, none of this is in documents, so if any of that is true, which I have not seen that. I don't even know that answer. I don't even know that answer. Dateline or something said all doors were locked. Oh, fucking Dateline. Jesus, here we go. Dateline. Dateline can come massage my back. Will I carry us to the finish line over here? Dateline. You know what I'll do? You know the one thing I will take from Dateline is I will take their editors. So they can just come over here to Home Team. I'll take their editors. And I'll just continue on doing the due diligence, the documents, and but I'll take your editors. That way they can edit videos for me. It was a stormy night in Moscow, Idaho, home to no murders ever, until this man drove across the country to come to Idaho to savagely kill 4 students while they sleep. But were they really sleeping? Yes. I'm working on my voice. My voiceovers for Dateline. We're over here. Will DoorDash driver be identified? Oh, hell yeah. DoorDash driver right now is totally a suspect. Everybody's a suspect on our board. That's why we're doing a mock trial. We're doing a mock trial. Especially if they're going to just keep on holding this and taking this out. You know, you should do a mock trial, mock crime scene investigation. I know that's why I was trying to get Scott Roeder, but we would need to see some crime scene photos to do that. I think big thing for me is why are you calling people over to the house before you went upstairs to try to get them to help you to open up and to get into the, if somebody's passed out on the second floor. I think the digital evidence is going to be as important in the Murdoch murders, where we can see what time these people were waking up, what time text messages began, what time, who are they calling? All of that matters. Mock trial with mock tails. Yes. Also, when they say like approximately 4 a.m., that's when like DoorDash dropped off. Like, in fact, that could be 3:30. Who knows? I don't think that they have the car on camera like they think that they have the car. I think that would have been way bigger of a, like I said, they're just dropping a car in the middle of Indian Hills, and saying that's Brian Koberger's car. You don't have it possibly traveling from WSU and just landing right next to the cops, where the department is, where they've been circling hybrids. Like, that's not even where they were asking the public for help. They weren't even asking them to look at, like, they were like, look, people that are over here. And then I want to see these 8, they have a ton of businesses that gave in the cameras. And then what do you think that Jack Showalter is going to say on the stand? What were you guys talking about? Who were you saying they were going to come after them? On the same day that you said that, they were murdered. Like, who were you referring to? We know that you weren't referring to Brian Koberger, so who were you referring to? How many depositions are happening? You guys think that anyone's being deposed right now? Think about it. So Richard Allen's attorneys, they're deposing people. Do you think Ann Taylor's deposing people right now? Well, I would hope so. I would hope, right? Think about it. Richard Allen, Brian Koberger, same situation. Well, Richard Allen's lawyers were deposing people. So I believe that, and I'd be one pissed bitch if I was in Brian Koberger's shoes and that Ann Taylor wasn't deposing people. And maybe if they're not, then they saw what Richard Allen's attorneys just did, and maybe they're going to start deposing people. I don't know. The trial should be really interesting. Yeah. And people thinking that Bethany and Dylan are like, that they are exempt from testifying at trial. I don't know where the people are getting this from. Those girls are going to be on the stand being like hammered. With as much couth as, Ann Taylor, she's going to be, Ann Taylor's not going to be questioning everybody. So certain people are going to be taking certain parts of the trial. I'd be giving it to, and what do you think Jay's going to do? Who do you think is going to question? I would have Jay questioning and cross-examining those girls. I don't think Ann should. If I was Ann Taylor, I would have Jay question on cross Bethany and Dylan. I think they'll be more receptive to a guy. And what is the drug task force is for this number are correct. You have to admit they are alive is almost the weirdest part of this case. Yeah. Is it possible that they're alive because they weren't there? Is it possible that they were alive because, they were on the first floor? So therefore everything that Officer Payne put in the PCA is a lie, which that's exactly what is happening in the Delphi case right now. And they're basically saying, you lied your asses off to get Brian Koberger arrested in this affidavit. What about Jack in South Africa or something? Bethany fleeing. I would be fleeing too. I'd get the hell out of there. You guys, somebody just murdered people. Get me out of there. Question, can you only question those in the report? Question whatever the hell you want. Subpoena them. I think Enon's going to take the stand. Hey, Enon, were you ever, did they ever come back to you and ask you any questions? No. Wait, they were doing canvases and they didn't talk to this guy? Even when he went out on, the air saying X, Y, and Z things to all these podcasters, the cops still didn't come to you? No. Okay. He's going to sit up there with his cat. Did we get any pics of drug task force there? I wasn't there. I've never been to Moscow. I've not been taking pictures of drug task force. I do want to see the pictures of, any type of stretcher with bodies coming out, though. I think that's going to be important to say what time that all happened. Where was the media? Bethany's getting married? Who's getting married? What are you guys talking about over here? H-Bag says, not a good time for Bethany to get married. She must be a head case. What? Who's getting married? Bethany's getting married? Did you get invited to the wedding? Where are you getting that from? Lana, do you think Steve G went to college when the aunt called? I mean, I don't know. I heard she's engaged. From who? If you even say News Nation, I'm just gonna come to the screen and just slap you, H-Bag. She's engaged supposedly. What? Wait, what? Oh hell! I heard she's engaged. Everybody's been hearing this. News Nation. How Bethany gets a tattoo and then she gets engaged? See? Oh hell no! There is a photo of engagement. Oh hell! See, I don't watch it. Oh good, Lana reaction. So let me get this straight. Bethany, what did you do after the murders? You got a tattoo. Well, not okay. What did you do after that? I got engaged. Did you seek therapy at all? Yeah. Yeah, not really. They just told me to get back on with my life. Was this guy with you the night of the murders? Nope, just met him. San Diego State. Look out. Here we go. She got a tattoo and engaged. Did you get your boyfriend's name tattooed? Nope. No. The roommates. Okay. After you got engaged, did you go and get his name tattooed? Nope. Still not. All right. I don't know. How long have you known your fiance? Just a couple weeks. I met him on News Nation. His name's Brian Etten. I'm kidding. Oh, shit. You guys cracked me up. I got a tattoo and got engaged. My life is on track. Wow. You're my favorite. I want to know what you think. I think it's crazy that she's engaged. I don't even know if it's that, he's the one that proposed to her, right? So he's fucking crazy. Julian J, thank you so much for the donation there. Appreciate that. Thank you. Guys, I was not expecting to hear that Bethany was engaged on a live broadcast. I'm going to call, I'm going to call Fry. I'm going to ask if the cops are aware that Bethany is engaged and is his boyfriend or her boyfriend now on part of the protective order. Just kidding. You guys are totally just. Who's dialing in? Someone have some balls and get up here. There you go. What do you think? Reasonable doubt, or you like Brian Culver is guilty as sin? You can go that way. I like people that have their own opinions. Just have a good reason for it. Welcome to home team, new members. Thank you for that. 3 unknown male. Yep. I want to know where the samples were taken from. I do. And I think it's important though, you can't, like, if all these kids were just like pouring out their DNA and their phones, God, if everybody just got their cell phones dumped and they were like, people were just turning over their cell phones like that, you know how much, that's a lot to go through. Whatever happened to Emma Bailey? I don't know. I mean, you guys know that there's some stuff I cannot say live, so I can give away all my tricks and trades, but I just can't believe that more people aren't wondering whatever happened to Emma Bailey and Demetrius's cases. Like, they got arrested for like murder, like they killed a man, right? And they're just not out on bond or bail. Like, there's no case. So interesting. Nobody seems to give a fuck. Emma got married. Everybody got married in Idaho. We got people that are taking roids. Where was that one? I just loved it. Someone said, "Let me call Fryland." Oh my God, if you did, I will totally call him, guys. Don't tempt me with a good time. I want to turn in a tip. I think that if Bethany is engaged, I think that goes to her mindset. And that maybe she needs to be engaged because she's still scared of the killers out there, and that's not Brian. So therefore she needs to be engaged. You know? I'm kidding about Emma getting married. Good, thank God. Whew. I was gonna say, Demetrius gonna go after that ass. Get over here, girl. I know you gotta come make me my money. You know who I need to bring back on here is Meredith. Meredith, yeah. I had the pleasure of talking to Meredith about Emma trying to throw her under the bus about all that stuff that happened the night that she got her DUI. I mean, just, that's wild. All right, so I think that, yeah, for the most part, I don't see anybody writing in chat that looks like I'm going to have a totally biased jury pool here. Does anybody out there see what the state's throwing down and just like, dude, Brian Colbert is guilty of sin? I'm sure Colbert gets married too. Banfield tells details of us. Yeah, she cares more about what he's eating. Oh. Will we be able to get court transcripts? Yeah, as long as they don't seal them. If they don't seal the court transcripts, which they will, but at some point they probably won't. But depending on how long it is, but I can tell you this. The morning part is closed and the afternoon part is open, I believe. So it's like 9:30 and then 1. I bet you there'd be a lot of talk about that morning closed session. So maybe some people will be able to get some info. Everybody has a price tag, right? Everybody has a price tag in Moscow, Idaho. Yeah, you know what? If they're taking their phones with them, maybe they went up a flight of stairs and it's going to show that they went up a flight of stairs. You know, I don't know. I'll play the devil's advocate. There you go. Nancy goddamn Grace. Between Nancy GD Grace and I think I called him fat fuck Liggett today. I was hot during my Delphi dump today. I just cannot believe that this man still has a job. He better lose his pension. That's all I gotta say. This case is a pure shit show, says Patricia. There you go. Yeah. It should just be, I don't understand. I don't know. I don't understand it. I just feel like when you got the right guy, just like in the Delphi case, you got the right guy, you got the right guy. Like, why all this fuckerage? Why didn't they do the preliminary hearing? You know? Oh, because guess what? All that fucking hearsay, it wasn't getting through the door. And that's what Ann Taylor's hot about. All this hearsay. You just let the grand jurors listen to all hearsay. 3 days needed. Saying you only gave up the evidence for 3 days, then they deliberated for 3 days, and they came back to indict him. And it was all majority hearsay. So, because think about it, guys, what could they possibly have? Because the defense doesn't have anything. That tells me, like, okay, well, what did you show these grand jurors? What did you show them? You know, did you tell them that there was this other DNA in the house that was unaccounted for? I don't know. They had everything to give some grand jury, and now you can't show AT. That's what I'm saying. They didn't. That's what AT's pissed about. They didn't show them anything. She's over here. She finally sees, like, you know, you get the transcripts and you're reading it. And her and Jay are probably like, are you kidding me right now? This is what they were saying to these people? They're over here just like, what's going, you know? And I think they were going to surprise attack them at the preliminary hearing with all this IgG stuff that they were, the defense had already. And I think that wind came around, little birdies, little whispers, and I believe the prosecution got wind that they're about to get blindsided, and that's why they went grand jury. I don't think it had anything to do with the, you know, sparing Bethany or Dylan. I mean, yeah, that may sound good for PR spin. That's a great PR move. Go ahead, say that. But that's what it is. It's PR. It ain't facts. So, because after they got the news of the grand jury, they just double pumped like 1, 2, 3 motions going ham. And they wouldn't, I don't believe, would have had that ready to go if they weren't already IgG ready. They had Leah Larkin ready. They were ready. And then they got wind of that. And then they had to hurry up. I mean, this also happened. You know, you got the, what's his name, found the exculpatory evidence with like whatever Bethany said, totally clash with what, you know, you have to include in that statement, in that PCA, whatever Bethany would have said if it clashed with what Dylan said, especially if it blew up their timeline. The timeline being, oh, she heard this at 4:00. Well, no, Bethany's like, no, that was at 2 when we all got home. That all of that happened at 2. You know, that type of stuff. So, but yeah. I want to know who did the IgG for the FBI. Because the FBI did it themselves. So who did they use? A new protege? Or did they use the Golden State Killer? Did they use her? Because the woman that found the Golden State Killer, she admitted in her book that she broke terms of service to find the Golden State Killer. Just saying. Which means that you violated, 200, 400, 1 million United States citizens' Fourth Amendment right. So go check that book out. Booted me. Who booted me? I don't ever boot people. I let you run your shit in here. The only time I boot you is if you are just straight up foul. No. Was that CC Moore? No, CC Moore didn't do the Golden State Killer. Go take a peek. Just a little cheap Google session for you guys. Lana, what do you think the real reason court prolonged? Oh, I think somebody was sick. I'd be puking my face off too if I, you know, had to listen to this crap and make it my careers on the line to put up with all of you guys' fuckery. Like, are you kidding me? No wonder why the Delphi judge, like, he recused himself. I mean, this is just crap. So, but it makes you know better when you turn the cheek, turn the eye. We only turn the cheek when we're going to get hit in the face. You don't turn the cheek to make sure that you don't see. Okay, go ahead and do what you're about to do, and I can just claim plausible deniability. No, you're just bad. Lana, your investigative reporting and sleuthing pertaining to Banfield has gotten quite a bit of awesome attention. What part about it? I feel like when I tell people, I'm like, oh, go back and check one of my videos I did it on. They're like, do you have like, I don't even know, 300 videos on this case? I'm like, yeah, you know what? So many of you guys, why don't you guys help me create some playlists that you guys think you'd want things in for easy, you know, access. But the Banfield, I'm guessing, tell me what part of it, and I'll tell you what I think about that. If BK is truly innocent, then those police officers should get off their SS and be working to catch the killer. Yeah, that's not going to happen until their jobs are on the line. Because unfortunately, when you go against the grain, you get fired. But all right, guys, I'm gonna wrap this up. I will be on tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 10 p.m. EST, which is, I don't know, something like 7 p.m. your guys' time. Go easy on my guest tonight. Some of you guys may know her, some of you guys may not. Go easy on her. I'll be throwing up some softball questions. Until next time, guys. Do your thing. Ready?
Like brains, and like if you need a lot of brains, you're gonna be in trouble.